Look at him crawling through turn 3 here as we prepare for the restart. Going awfully slow, and the fans,
then he guns it.
90,000 plus come to their feet for the restart here on lap 107.
Green flag.
Did you see how he got sideways, and immediately Scott Goodyear's got a jump on him?
Here's Goodyear challenging on the outside for first place. Scott Goodyear finished 4th last year. He's going to go wheel to wheel with him.
They're just going to kind of ride it out together like that. But there's a guy on the inside.
We're going to go 3 abreast.
The Yahoo machine tries to make it 3 abreast.
There's Kenny Bragg coming around him again.
The red car directly in front of his lead tandem is the Buzz Calkins machine. He's got to be holding his breath, Ari, trying to just get out of the way.
Well, he's got to stay on the throttle. He cannot lift out of the throttle with that many cars behind him, because then they will check the closing rate will be too big.
Kenny Bragg sticking his nose into the activity now. Ray's your leader up front there. Goodyear and Beechler. Beechler battling now.
This is for position. Scott Goodyear, Beechler right there, and right behind them is Jeff Ward.
Beechler riding in 3rd position. Goodyear is in 2nd. 109 laps completed.
Ari, I'll tell you what that restart tells me. Greg Ray in the Menard car has a different gear selection, and maybe one of those teams carrying 4 high gears. It causes a problem on a restart.
Donnie Beechler, by the way, has just jumped into 2nd.
Looking out the back of the Pennzoil Panther, and all he sees is the Yahoo machine from Pagan Racing and Jeff Ward. Ward, as we've told you, the current Pep Boys Indy Racing League points leader, but he has yet to score a victory. 7-time motocross champion. He has become quite a terror on 4 wheels.
And he got a great run there on Scott Goodyear. And let's look at Jeff Ward in a minute, because I think he's going to make a move on Scott Goodyear in a minute.
Jeff Ward shows incredible patience in 4 wheels. As we watch Wardy working to the high side of the Pennzoil Panther car of Scott Goodyear. I think that comes from running in those motocrosses where you have to maintain a certain level for 20, 30, sometimes even 45 minutes. That's difficult on 2 wheels, and I think it serves him well in a Pep Boys Indy Racing League competition.
There's a car smoking out there. There he goes by us. And it's Jeff Ward.
Jeff Ward's car smoking as he goes into turn 1. Ward, slow down.
Boy,
he has a flat tire, we're told. Jeff Ward in car 21, who was battling for 3rd position.
Right out on the backside, the right rear, that tire right there. The report is that it has got a leak, that it is going down. So he's got a faulty Goodyear on the right side, and that's going to bring him onto pit road.
And he notices it, but the crew can actually see the tire go down. They have telemetry telling them what the pressures are. And a lot of times the drivers...
Look at this. 3 wide going into the corner. Oof. Aren't you glad you're retired?
No, I mean, this is so much fun. This is a lot of fun here. This track has been a great racetrack to race on.
He's there.
Beechler and Goodyear battling for 2nd place right now.
Clear,
Goodyear holding on. Beechler's thinking about going on the high side.
Let's check in with Calvin Fish with Jeff Ward.
Crew goes to work on Wardy's car. They're looking seriously at the right rear, because they remember they did have some fluid leaking there, and they are going to work. Obviously not a tire problem right now. They've got some towels over there, and they were looking at the rear suspension. Mitch Davis believes it was an upright problem. They're now going to put the tire back on and try and get him back up, but losing valuable time right now.
Calvin, you were on top of that when they pulled that last set of tires off, and they saw that grease, so obviously it's an ongoing problem. As we look at the Pennzoil Panther yellow car out the backside, you look at Donnie Beechler. This is classic Pep Boys Indy Racing League competition. Pennzoil Panther, Gary Pettigo, and Scott Goodyear, a very well-heeled team. On the other case, the 98 car of Donnie Beechler, hey, they're a low bucks team, but they are battling for 2nd position in a $1 million race this evening at Texas Motor Speedway. That, to me, is what racing's all about.
That's the beauty about the IRL, about the rules package. You can buy everything else that everybody else buys. And at this track doesn't require development as much. Maybe some wind tunnel work would help to reduce the drag. But you could run a car here competitively without doing a lot of testing. And Jeff Ward is back in the pits, and I know he doesn't want to be back in that car.
The guys from Panther Pennzoil are having a good time as Goodyear rides in 2nd position right now. Vince Welsh has an update.
Kevin Blanche told me you want to qualify on the bottom of the racetrack because it's the shortest distance, but you want to race on the top of the racetrack. You're scrubbing less revs, so you'll see Scott Goodyear spend a lot of time around the top. if he can, he'd just as soon make his moves around the top of the racetrack instead of down under. They're having a little bit of a problem on the restart, but once they get their tires warmed up, the car is nearly perfect. Look for Scott Goodyear to be a player in this one down the stretch.
Do you see that yellow car directly in front of Scott Goodyear in the Pennzoil Panther pack? That's your leader. It's less than 1/10 of a second separating first and second.
Let's go to Calvin Fish, an update on Jeff Ward.
They're still working on Wardy's car. They believe they've got a suspension breakage. He did have a problem at the non-event at Charlotte with a roll bar coming loose, and they think it may be something similar. They've got the car in the air right now, and they're going to give it a thorough looking over before they send him back out again.
And we're watching the challenge now. Goodyear thinking about making a move for the first position after finishing 4th at Texas in 97 and 98.
It's going to happen.
He's on the move.
It's going to happen. It's not going to take long, and Greg Ray is getting the signal from his spotter that he's down low, and he's giving him room.
At the race last year, Scott Goodyear got aboard his Pennzoil Panther machine, and 3 laps into the race, they knew they had chosen the wrong gear. Kevin Blanche told me they were not going to encounter that problem again tonight. They really worked hard at having a good gear selection. The difference between maybe the top 4 gears are, what, 75 RPM, 50 RPM? That's how close you got to cut it nowadays at 10,000 RPM, the maximum allowable revs.
We used to have the split between 5th and 6th, 150 revs, but these days, it's anywhere from 75 to 100 revs, because the revs, you want to keep that engine as close as 10 all the time.
Back on board with Panther Pennzoil Racing. Goodyear won at Phoenix earlier this year, looking to the inside.
I heard Goodyear, he was up on the limiter one more time. Now, as he comes out of this turn 4 area, let's listen as he goes into 1.
For him to make the pass, he needs to be able to stay flat out going in the turn. He cannot do that. He could make his car a little better. Once he can stay flat out going into the turn behind the guy, then he's going to pass him.
You said turn 3 is the fastest part of the racetrack.
But you see how much he has to lift? Anytime he lifts, he's going to go away from him. Greg Ray will go away from him, and it's really hard to pass him if you have to lift. I remember well, because 2 years ago when I was driving here, I had to go absolutely flat out behind Tony Stewart in the turn to be able to make the pass on the back straight.
All right, we're watching Scott Goodyear being patient now, watching Greg Ray. We have a great battle that's going to go down to the wire. The Longhorn 500. Stay with us on Fox Sports Net.